Gaston Glock, the man behind the gun, dies at 94. Gaston Glock, the reclusive engineer and tycoon who developed one of the world's best-selling handguns, died on Wednesday, aged 94, Austrian news agency APA said. The Austrian won loyal followings among police and military across the world with the weapons that bore his name. Forbes estimated his and his family's fortune at $1.1 billion in 2021. His rise began in the 1980s when the Austrian military was looking for a new, innovative weapon. Up until then, the Glock company had made military knives and consumer goods including curtain rods. But he assembled a team of firearms experts and came up with the Glock 17, a lightweight semi-automatic gun largely made of plastic. The revolutionary design, with a frame made of high-strength, nylon-based polymer and only the slide made of metal, beat several other companies' blueprints and secured his upstart outfit the contract. Soon the easily assembled weapon became a global hit. "Get yourself a Glock and lose that nickel-plated sissy pistol," Tommy Lee Jones said in the 1998 movie U.S. Marshal. Many U.S. police officers used them, and U.S. rappers worked them into their rhymes, among them Snoop Dogg's Protocol and Wu-Tang Clan's The Glock. U.S. soldiers found toppled Iraqi President Saddam Hussein hiding with a Glock in a hole in the ground in 2003. They later presented that weapon to U.S. President George W. Bush, according to the New York Times. Gun control advocates criticized Glock for popularizing powerful guns that they were easy to conceal and could hold more ammunition than other guns. A former U.S. Marine combat veteran, armed with what police described as a .45 caliber Glock with a high-capacity magazine, killed 12 people in a bar in Thousand Oaks, California in November 2018. White supremacist Dylan Roof used a Glock pistol to kill 9 African-American people during a Bible study session at a church in Charleston, South Carolina in June 2015. Mallet attack. Glock himself rarely responded to criticisms from activists, shunned public debate, and, in 2000, refused to join other weapons manufacturers in signing a voluntary gun control deal with the U.S. government. He made few comments of any kind to the press, but the public got glimpses of his sometimes temptatious private life through the courts. At the age of 70, in July 1999, when an investment broker who managed his asset hired a former wrestler to attack him with a rubber hammer, a court heard. Glock has grown suspicious of how the broker was managing his affairs and had flown to Luxembourg to confront him, lawyers said. He suffered 7 blows to the head, but fended off the assault. The broker, Charles Ewert, and the attacker, Jackie Speicher, were both jailed. His 49-year-old marriage with Helga Glock ended in divorce in 2011, and the pair embarked on a lengthy legal battle over alimony. Soon after, he married his second wife, Catherine, more than 50 years his junior. He owned a lakefront mansion and a state-of-the-art equestrian sports center in the province of Carinthia where celebrities showed up for parties. He is survived by his wife, a daughter, and 2 sons. Early life. Glock was born in Vienna on 19 July 1929. He was conscripted into the Wehrmacht as a teenager near the end of World War II, after which he graduated from school as an engineer and joined a hand drill company. Manufacturing. Glock began as a manufacturer of curtain rods in 1960s and knives for the Austrian military in the 1970s, and did not design or manufacture a firearm until he was 52 years old. He already had experience with polymers from his previous business ventures. In 1980, he bought an injection molding machine to manufacture handles and sheaths for the field knives he was making for the Austrian army in his garage workshop. His earliest employees were from the camera industry and experienced in producing polymer components. His first production pistol was the Glock 17. It took 1 year to design and produce, and he applied for its Austrian patent in April 1981. Robert McFadden of the New York Times wrote that Glock's pistol became a phenomenal seller, especially in the United States. It arrived in the mid-1980s when crime rates were soaring and police officers felt outgunned. New models and calibers with extended clips were introduced. 2/3 of America's police forces, including New York City's, adopted the Glock, as did many federal, state, and county agencies. Glock was vilified by gun control advocates and held by gun aficionados. Despite the Glock's popular depiction as a criminal's weapon and its use in some of America's most spectacular mass shootings, Mr. Barrett, the author of Glock, said the gun had not commonly been traced to crime scenes, indeed, far less so than other firearm brands. Murder attempts. In July 1999, Glock suspected that Charles Ewart, one of his closest financial advisors, had been embezzling funds. Glock confronted Ewart, who hired a French mercenary to murder Glock with a rubber mallet in a car park in an attempt to make it look like an accident. Glock was hit in the head but was able to fight back, punching the man until he collapsed on top of Glock. Both Ewart and the assassin were convicted of attempted murder and sent to prison. Personal life. Glock married Helga Glock in 1958, and they co-founded the family business in 1963. They divorced in 2011 and entered litigation over accusations that Glock engaged in racketeering. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2017. Glock donated over €1 million to Austrian charities. He also gave funds to the Freedom Party of Austria. Glock was described as a reclusive Austrian billionaire who avoided publicity and valued his privacy despite his famous invention.